Pallavi, how are you?
Hi. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. How are you, Bhavi?
I'm also good. So we are beginning with our podcast journey. Uh, so I came across your profile on LinkedIn, and it is very interesting. So could you please let let our viewers know about yourself and your whole journey in data science and what have you done?
Yeah, sure, Bhavi. First of all, thanks for having me here for your podcast. And whoever is listening, I am Pallavi Chandra, and currently I'm working as a applied scientist at Microsoft, Bangalore. And my journey started, I think I have done my, if I have to talk about my educational and professional side of it. So I reside, I'm originally from Bihar, and currently I'm residing in Bangalore. My professional journey starts with my educational background, which is in the bachelor's. I did my bachelor's in computer science and engineering from VIT. And there I developed interest in the data aspect of it, where I happened to work on a couple of papers. And one of the paper is published in the Indo Science Journal as well. Um, so from there onwards, uh, I happened to work for my first company in Ericsson, where I worked as a data engineer, and most of it work as like in computer science, like in the data engineer side of it. I got a strong hold on the technical aspect, which is related with the, like building of data pipelines and so forth, and building of even the software development, the life cycle, and all those things. After working for 3 years, I moved to, I went for my master's because it's something which I always wanted to do was more on the side of data science, or something where how can you put how can you try to solve certain problems which can be translated into action, and you can see that okay, this is the real time problem statement, and you have come up with some approach, done some intervention, and you're seeing that being done in action. So I got an opportunity, a couple of opportunities, and I chose my master's in public policy from Arizona State University. There I got plethora of opportunities, and I worked from different domains. Most of my major lied in labor market economics plus the sustainability side of it, where I got the opportunity to apply many of the mathematical models, data science, quantitative approach to solve certain problems, and bring it to an action, and also involve myself into many of the evaluation side of it, like how will you evaluate if your solution is actually working or not. So those things actually kind of interested me more. And then I made a move back post, like during COVID time, and I think 2020, and I moved back to India, and I joined as a data analyst, senior data analyst at Rapido. There I worked for almost 4.5 years. I worked as an data analyst and data scientist, which was more towards the product data science, and worked majorly on marketplace side of the data science side of it. And currently, yeah, I'm working as an applied science where, yeah, once again trying to solve some problems. So that's what the my over about myself. That's what they think.
Yeah, Pallavi, like it is one of the most unique and interesting stories I have ever heard of data science. Like you were in
Okay.
VIT, Vellore, and you are CS undergrad, and then you moved to Arizona. Like again, very big step for you. Like, can you explain me like what actually encouraged you to move to Arizona for your their masters and learn from there?
Yeah, sure, Bhavesh. So I actually, in my 11th, 12th, I did have economics as my one of the subjects apart from PCM. And I always had an inclination towards that because it had um, where certain problem statements which you can relate to yourself. For example, any of the real time problem statements and how do you approach and solve that using mathematics was something always there inside me. So yeah, I think the computer science and bachelor's in computer science made me very strong technically, and also the work which I did at Ericsson and the exposure and the experience which I got there. So technical wise, like whatever the how you develop softwares, how you code, etc., etc., it worked well. But it was always there for me that you know um, how to approach a problem, how to solve a problem, because you even if you develop a software or it's a kind of a niche. The bigger picture is something different. Like why are you even building that software? What is the pain points, or what is the ask that you have to build this particular product or you have to build this software. So those things actually kind of always intrigued me, that how what's actually like uh, essentially, like, since I say like I from economics, so I'll just give an example. Like I read a lot of books, and because of that, like one of the problem statements, like as I'll just take, everybody knows about Amartya Sen, who has won Nobel Prize. So his statement, like how he came up with a very exact approximation of how many girl childs we have lost, India has lost in the last 10 years and 20 years, how that approximation is so accurate. So those kind of things intrigued me a lot, that how he collected the data, what problem statement he actually kind of made his scope to come up with that. Like, of course, like this is one of the study, we do the case studies and a study of him, his work in economics or any related fields of economics per se. But those things kind of intrigue me, then how you like pull yourself from scratch to building the entire and give an output and say that, hey, this is what is happening. And that's why you need to bring up a law or something, a policy or whatever it is, or a regulation. And that's kind of pushed me once again, like, no, I think I should pursue data science or quants is just one part of it. But I wanted to pursue something like how you make something called evidence-based policies, or which is mostly, like as I said, my major was mostly in the labor market economics, which is more towards like social and economic policies, as well as like which was towards like also sustainability. So basically, umbrella of like developmental economic side. How do you basically make those policies which are backed by some evidence, which is nothing but the data, and you showcase that data, that statistically this is what is being shown, and we need to build, put something in action. It could be anything. And that's why I applied for two colleges, which one was the Columbia University. They had one program, but yeah, like financial wise, it was quite above like my financial finances that time. Like, and the other one was the Arizona State University, which I applied, and it was the School of Public Policy. I remember was fourth or fifth uh, school in the US. So I chose Arizona State University, where I happened to even get a scholarship from Maricopa County and an intern there as a management trainee. So I think, yeah, I had literally a very great exposure, very good experience, and that's what made me move from computer science to doing a master's in something which is from the economics background or the public policy background.
Great. That's truly inspiring. But I just want to know, like, after you have done in your applied economics, how did you became a senior data scientist at Rapido? Like, what did you learn? And I just want to know, like, your opinion on if people do like studies in data science or masters in data science, or if they don't do their masters or bachelors in data science, what difference does it make, and how they can bridge this gap without doing the master's or bachelor's in data science and land a job as a data scientist or a data analyst.
Yeah, actually, that's a very interesting question, Bhavir, you have asked. I think a lot of us struggle nowadays. So data science, I think, is a new term in the businesses, especially in the IT industry, which has evolved over the periods. But essentially, for me, I think when you ask whether you need a master's in data science or not, or whether you need a bachelor's in data science or not, I would say you do need a formal study. It could be any particular discipline. And according to my understanding, it needs to be a multidisciplinary subject based, which has, applied maths, applied statistics. It also can have a knowledge more on, the qualitative bit of it, which is also like in computer science, you have something called computational system modelings and all those things. So that is also forms one of the part of the data science. So currently, when you check out any of the courses which is being offered by various universities right now, whether in bachelor's or in masters. I think one thing which will make your job, day-to-day job, very easy or easygoing, or to grasp it, very quickly, um, is going to be, maybe you can see in the courses if they have certain fundamentals. If you're very strong in your fundamentals in your maths, probably, like, for example, I never worked on, LLM or deep learning before I joined Microsoft. um, but it helped me grasp that because I know the fundamentals behind this. That was something I had that foundation. So for me, if you're choosing if any of the current students, they are looking for the career in data science or as a data analyst or applied science, um, or machine learning, probably like they have to look for the courses where there is a very strong foundational courses also being offered in that particular master's or bachelor's. For example, if I have to say that there has to be matrix algebra, there has to be calculus from the applied science side of it. If it's applied stat side of it, like, or the statistics side of it, or the mathematical functions which is applied there, then I think one needs to see the probability and the stats. Then they also have to look for, like, what are the different kind of courses are there in which it talks about the different statistical methods which are used, so that, like, and because when you take those courses, they comes with case study in which particular use case, you are going to apply some kind of like chi-square testing, like which kind of a statistical test you should apply for, or any sort of like statistical methods. For example, if I want to build a Poisson regression, for example, I need to make sure that the data which I have gathered, it follows the distribution of the Poisson. Otherwise, there is no need for that. So you have to see that whether it's following the chi-square distribution. How do you come up with that? So those foundations actually make you very strong that how you should approach a problem, whether you should even go for a Poisson regression for this kind of use case or not. That will kind of uh, build the basics and fundamentals for you. So even if, let's say, it looks very high for you, the deep learning aspect, or the LLM or the generative AI of today, which is now the buzz all over the place, you will understand the fundamentals because you'll be dealing with the probability and the stats. You'll know that what is a dependence probability, how do you calculate that versus what is a independent probability. And you also will know that you will be basically familiar with CLT theorems, a lot of things like that, and law of large numbers. And those fundamentals will help you in many of the training of the models, fine tuning of the models, and even making your train and test split, sampling techniques, what should be my sample, etc. And one very important aspect of it is that any of the data science courses which you are taking into consideration, it should offer experiment design. I think I every time emphasize that because previously I used to even work as a mentor in different uh, the edtech companies. There, as a like mentor consultants and all, there also I would like to emphasize this very much for the students who are choosing their career in data science or data analyst roles or product analyst role or any quant role. where you're trying to solve the problem using, quant approach or a mixed method approach of quant plus qualitative or something like that. You're just trying to solve those business problems or product problems, especially I'm talking in context of the IT industry. um, we need to understand how you should conduct an experiment and how important it is, because it is very important for us to evaluate the products. It is also very important for us to understand our customers and what are the preferences for, the test and preferences of a customer, what are the needs of a customer or a user, or what I mean, what are like how you can improve your product given, you have come up with some sort of like model, or you have applied some new sort of modeling and you want to compare between two models and so forth, how you should approach those experiments, because that will give you a very realistic impact, which will be a very measurable one. And that will be a very quick way of also measuring impact, which most of the time whenever you will land up into this job, you'll be answerable and accountable to the businesses that, okay, you did this analysis, you came up with this recommendation, but now tell me what is the statistical significance of this recommendation, or what is the practical significance of this recommendation, and so forth. And in that case, you will end up evaluating and monitoring and, like measuring those impacts for the product. So I think any courses that offers that is something which I think students can take up for the data science. But I would suggest that you need to go through some sort of like formal settings, but something which has a fundamental plus some sort of like case study based, so that it can build an analytical skills, which is a very important aspect of data science. Um, More than the technical, I think it's most of the part goes in the analytical thinking, that it captures all the hypotheses, all the assumptions, everything to make your product, or um, to make the solution or the recommendation as strong or, approximate as possible.
Great. So I think like it is very difficult right now to break into data science industry, and let alone that AI shift and generative AI. So how are you keeping up with all of this, like generative AI? How do you are keeping with the like Claude is building coworkers? It has introduced different workflows, and you can actually code your entire production code base using just Claude and some of the very like junior level engineers. So like how can a senior data scientist like you upgrade herself, and how do you like prepare day to day for like the changing of the AI in this kind of journey?
Yeah, that's actually, yeah, wow. I think, yeah, even I have this question till now. But I think, um, so the difference, so first I'll just talk about the difference which I have found between like a transition from a product data science to this applied science side of it, which is more towards, um, the generative AI, as you mentioned, or creating agent or agentic systems and so forth, because of the like boom in LLMs right now, which is going on. So I think in product data science, it's more focused on just improving, I mean, not just, but improving product experiences. And also, it's mostly on you recommend to the businesses what is best for them using some data or some insights. That is, so that is one part of it, of the data science, um, where you translate many of the business problems, or, the industries now have moved towards OKR based. So if those kind of objectives are there or bets are there, how are you translating? How are you formulating first of all the problems, and then translating into a data science problems, and then recommending the businesses, and if you are recommending that, how much of that particular OKR, or the business whatever they have asked for is being solved. So that is one part of it. So in the context of the IT industry, when we talk about where in India we have right now getting opportunities in the IT industry in such a fashion, that becomes very important that you have. product sense, and you need to have a very good product sense actually. And of course, like from the technical perspective, it's a Python and SQL will do the job for you. And now since you have Cloud Code, GHC, and even Google Gemini's, so many things are there. So you can make your task, like you can boom your productivity basically. However, this is called like from one aspect of data science, which we call it like product data science or something. Now coming to the other part of which is called research scientist, or in Microsoft I think it's applied scientist also. So in in this aspect, we majorly not only focus on um, solving some of the problems using data science, but also like deploying this particular I mean, mostly you'll be working with LLMs, generative AI, agentic systems, creation of the agents, workflows, like agentic workflows, or previously it used to be known as ML flows and all, machine learning flows and all. So that, like, how you can even put that into the deployment, the entire picture comes under the applied science aspect. Now, the third aspect is, which is very popular, is machine learning engineer or an AI engineer. That is also very much coming in the picture. So, AI engineer, basically, you can see that people who are having knowledge of making autonomous systems using agents, some sort of like agentic systems they are creating using the help of, this cloud code native models or OpenAI models or whatever it is, but you are coming up with some sort of like agents. So that is the other aspect, which are known as like AI engineer, who will be creating these workflows and doing also the engineering side of it work. So I think that is the other bit. And ML engineer was the one step earlier, where you may be working with the, I mean, it will be more on, a recommendation, like for example a recommender system has been created and that needs to be deployed to in the production, and you'll be creating those data pipelines, you'll be creating those flows, those workflows, those DAGs and everything. So those will be the work of the ML engineer, and just one step ahead will be the AI engineer. Now, coming to the applied scientist, as I mentioned, it is more towards like a research. And the second question which you asked, like, how do you keep yourself updated? Like, for example, if you are from a product data science and you want to keep yourself updated on this, then I think you need to follow a lot of like, currently, for even the LLMs, a lot of research papers are not published. They are still in, a non-published mode, and which you can find through querying through ChatGPT or even Google search, and keeping yourself informed about many of like you can even there is one alpha signal um, a newsletter. You can subscribe to that. It will give you the letter, but a very very latest tech blogs related with the changes which is happening in the LLM or the generative AI, the agentic systems, and how are you going to evaluate these agentic systems and so forth. So I think that is one way to keep yourself updated, since agentic systems and is still new, and especially how should we evaluate these systems is even more new, because we don't know the behind architecture of this. It is not completely made open to the public, that okay, this is the architecture. We know the basic and the fundamental architecture which is being used for an LLM, but like what a particular model is using, like for example a cloud codes sonnet model, what are, I mean, what is the actual architecture behind that, and it is coming up with giving this answer. We are not sure about that, and what are the data on which it is trained on, that is also we don't know. So those are the things which are unknown to us. So evaluating the agent and agentic output, that is also becoming something very important aspect, especially for applied scientists, or even as a data scientist if you're working on deep learnings, LLM reinforcement learnings, and transfer learnings, and so forth. So those particular aspects, I think for evaluation, how you should evaluate and all, you have to keep yourself updated through many of the research papers which are being published from, Facebook research or Microsoft research, uh, and even like from different of the tech blogs, which is being on Medium. For example, Medium has its own towards data science, and that is a very popular community. Inside that, also, like, you'll find a lot of such related technical blogs which will have the mention of the papers. And I think through that only currently I am following that particular technique to keep myself updated. Apart from that, if you want to keep updated yourself with what is the new in the Python or SQL take a stack wise, then for that also, like, you can rely either on the Python or you can rely on the Medium. But you have to, current status is that we have to keep reading these research papers. We have to read these tech blogs to keep ourselves updated, because these are in very nascent stage right now, and we do not have any published papers like earlier. So yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah, definitely. Like even I myself have to like take out around 1 to 2 hours daily and go through some of the research papers, some of the LinkedIn posts from very like senior people and who are like publishing those their own research articles, their own publications. And yeah, it's very helpful because right now we actually don't know where AI is headed and what can actually be done by AI. So it is improving day by day, and new technologies, new research publishes, new workflows, new agent AI orchestration coming along day by day.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just want to know like I know that you have written on your LinkedIn that you are a poet, you are a teacher, and you are a researcher. Uh, so which of these fields find more fruitful to you and you find more purpose and you feel like as a whole in your life?
Oh, I think uh, all three together make me whole. I'm a writer, and I have published two books so far. And my second book got shortlisted for best book in the short categories by Pen and Paper Awards, which is the restaurant. And my first book happened to be in the Amazon Kindle bestseller. It's basically a Japanese name, Suyoi, and that book got, like, I think, a Lift Magazine Award in the children's category. So I think in the writing is something I. So basically, I'll just tell you, for me, data science, I do not see as a very technical or something like that. For me, data science is an art, as we say, machine learning, right? A state of the art we do, and all those things where you try to find a lot of variables and what should be the control variables for the same, and etc. For me, maybe that's why the link is between the writing part of it and the data science part of it. I do write a couple of poems, which is also on my Medium page, and a couple of them I have not published. It's still in my notebook. So those, I think, research comes along with my job, which is in the field of, like, data science. For me, now, since the businesses are using, a particularly data scientist to provide them business recommendations based on data, because it's very easy to now, create those pipeline to gather the data. Otherwise, I mean, I always believe that data science is something, or quants, or any sort of like this kind of, mixed method approach, or you try to solve the problem, is a part of a research. And as you know, that in data science, whatever it is, we try to build a story where, you try to first formulate your problem, you break down your problems, you translate it into like, okay, this section is going to be in the quants, this section we can even solve by qualitative methods, or you can just solve the entire with some sort of like quant or mathematical models, and then you try to find some solution and recommendation that the data tells you this is the recommendation, and so forth. So I think if you ask me personally, like just like in the writings, you have, if I have to find, the intersect, like how they all are intertwined, in the same way, make a mind map of characters because in stories, it has to be a character-driven stories until unless you, because I happen to write fiction books, but yeah, like so I'm just talking in terms of that. So it, you create that mind map that these are my characters and this is how the story will be driven by these characters. And the same way when you try to solve any problem, you create the same sort of like mind maps where you try to find it out. Okay, this is my problem statement. I broke it down. This problem statements will have this hypothesis, these assumptions, and then I have to different threads. You try to break it down and then formulate it and finally find the answer. So I think for me, when you ask me fulfilling, I think all three together fulfills that because they all are intertwined with each other. So yeah, that's my answer.
So you talked about like your first book, its name is in Japanese. So I'm assuming
Yeah.
you are quite into like Japanese anime or Japanese films. So like what it is inspired from and how do you
Oh
get to
yeah.
that name?
Yeah, sure, Bhavesh. So the name is Suyoi, which means brave. And honestly speaking, I did not know anime. Uh, 6 months, I would say 6 to 1 year before writing this book of Suyoi, which was published in I think 2022. So I got to know that there is something called anime from my husband. But I happened to write the book because he introduced me to one of the anime. I really liked it. It was some uh, um something called the Demon Slayer or something.
Demon Slayer.
So
Yes.
yeah, that time the one season was had come. So I think and there was one more anime. I forgot the name of that. So it was a girl. I don't know. I forgot the name. Sorry about that. But those two animes actually I have watched, and I somehow kind of related that with the folklores, which my grandma used to tell me during my childhood. So my childhood was full of all those, folklore stories and some stories about hope and everything. And that's what I think I kind of again intertwined both of them together and wrote this particular book. And since I got very much inspired with the Japanese setup and all, and I did a kind of like a research on Japanese culture and their lifestyles and everything. That's kind of influenced me to keep the name as Suyori and even the entire book, which is based on Japan. I mean Japan's one small town. So that's the whole thing about this book. Yeah.
Great. As you mentioned, like data science is a whole journey, and this
Mm.
is with the storytelling that we do. So I'm interested to know like what kind of movies or web series you find interesting, and you find like the storytelling is in the best form.
Oh yeah, great, Bhavya. So my story. So as I So for me, as I mentioned, whether it's data science or writing or researching, for me, they are more an art than a science because in art you do a lot of trial and errors and it needs a lot of patience to do that. So my like recommendations when it comes to movies and all, it will come. One is Reversey. If I don't know if you have seen that is a Malaysian movie. You can watch that. That's a very beautiful movie with the time and complex human emotions. That's a kind of like genre I like a lot. And of course, the Iranian movies. If you have ever watched, there was one movie which is banned, but it is available on YouTube. It's called The Silence. It's a mixture of Iranian and Turkestan kind of movies like that, Kazakhstan and Iranian. Um, And there are many other Iranian movies, like there is the Taste of Cherry and all those things, which I like a lot. There's one movie, any movie which is related with the human emotions. There's one Thailand movie, Don't Come Home. If you, that's again a very much human emotion, although they have used a horror genre inside that. But these are the kind of movies which really have they are very close to my heart. And there is one more movie which is based on a book, Flipped. This English movie, Flipped, and that's I till now admire that movie a lot. So yeah, these are the couple of movies recommendations I have.
Great. I think I have made my watch list for this weekend then.
Okay, great, nice. I have it. Yeah.
Uh, Great. I have one more question with you. What is the best career advice you have received from someone, and what was the worst career advice like you have received from someone in your entire career till now?
Oh, so I think worst though I don't remember if somebody has given me yeah, of course there will be people who will like to pull you down. Especially I have felt that, the world is divided between Western thoughts and Eastern thoughts. And somehow in the Eastern world of thoughts, you'll find this pulling nature a lot compared to the Western thoughts, where it's completely different when it comes to encouragement, entitlement, and everything. Um, so the best advice which I was given, I'll tell in terms of uh, data science side, that it was told to me that do not, like, that's why I kept on emphasizing here in this podcast also, try to solve the problem. Do not try to make the best system, and I'll fit the LLM, I'll use this model, etc., etc. You have to solve a problem. You have to see if that particular problem is solvable or not, if it is a Pareto optimal problem, Pareto efficient problem, or you cannot solve it at all. It's a entirely a different ball game altogether. Because LLM cannot solve the problem of climate change, because it cannot fall in the dependence probability domain, as you know. It forms a closed loop, which is a positive feedback closed loop, because of various reasons. That you cannot use basically any of the LLM models to solve that, or the dependence probability models. So um, the advice which was given to me was that for being a data scientist, you have to be a highly analytical person. You cannot just, like, technical just comes along the way, but you have to be so highly analytical to find the crux of the problem. For example, I'm not sure, like recently there was a research which was done in Sahara Desert, um, where the conservation researchers and the scientists, they came up with, so in Sahara Desert you cannot grow trees because seeds cannot germinate, because it's a very high temperature, and there is a sand and the moisture cannot be locked, etc. And what could be the best possible solution? You have artificial rain, you can even make a lot of such seeds which can retain in such kind of temperature, etc., etc. But instead of having those kind of artificial intervention points, the researchers used the local native African tortoise to kind of, they left it, like they did an experiment where they left 500 such tortoise who happen to be a pet animal also, but they are then left when they outgrow or something. And they left in that Sahara Desert, and they from there they kind of like dug the soil so much inside that before the rain, that when the rain pops up, it can log the, if the seeds are there, they even do the seed dispersal thing, and the seeds can germinate. So because they are helping in, digging the soil, and they can retain that much high temperature. And the again, so in the same Sahara Desert, now has like couple of trees, and you can grow a couple of vegetables, and you can do cultivation, which was not possible some 10 years back. So they found a solution which is ecological, which is within the ecosystem without destroying any sort of like ecosystem. And I think this shows that more of the analytical side, like technical side of it, the research is concentrated more on the understanding the problem in depth, which is the analytical side of it. I think that was one of the best advice. And the other advice which was given by my father long back, um, that I see that you have inclination towards economics, so why don't you take economics before bachelor's in computer science? And I think I don't know. I think I should have taken that. Maybe I would have learned little earlier in my career and build those skills which I have right now. But yeah, like I have no regrets. But yeah, I think that was one of the best advice from my father.
So I have like a two-part question now.
Yeah, sure.
What is that one book that have like clearly changed you as a person? Like, like from that book you were a different person, and after reading that book you became a different person. And uh, is there any blog or article that you would recommend right now to a person that would completely change his or her life?
Hmm. Yeah. Okay, that's a great question. uh, so book-wise, I think it was my first book, A Thousand Splendid Suns, by Khalid Hosni. It really changed my perspective towards life. That why are we complaining? And what is even the meaning of entitlement? And it's, the complaint is very much relative to the kind of access we have. So I think that is always going to be my, first book ever to understand that, I should be blessed when I think about life rather than, nagging about it. And when it comes to data science side of it, I would highly recommend people to read. There is a book called like it's on you like Google also it's available. It's called Econometrics with R. Anyone who is interested into understanding a very fundamentals basic of what it constitutes to be, to jump into the data part of it. I think it is one of the best book. The other is The Data is Smart. That book is actually very costly, but it's absolutely has everything, every other particular um, domain in terms of application of um, the data science. So let's say if, as I mentioned, that you need to have the fundamentals, which I think is very important in today's world, where you make agents and you don't know the architecture, you have to evaluate and so forth. But let's say if you skip those fundamentals and you want to only understand how can we do an application quickly, and that data smart book is something which provides you that how you can apply a normal k means or knn clustering or something like that in Excel, from Excel, R, and Python in all three languages. And I think if you are looking for something like that, that I just want to apply, along with a case study, with your customer, employees, and HR data, and so forth, I think that will also help you to build your resume with very basic projects, because it will guide you through that. So, but yeah, like that book is something which is very costly, but yeah, that's one book which also helped me in quickly getting an access. It's like a crash course in data science itself. If you finish that book, it's like a quick crash course in data science you're doing. And then the yeah, I think I answered your question, or there's
Yeah,
another question. Yeah.
yeah. I think that's it. Like, if there any article or a newsletter that you would recommend right
Okay.
now for people?
Oh, yes. So I think, as you know, the if depends which particular blog you are actually trying to channel it. If you are into ML engineering, AI engineering, Alpha Signal is something which I will recommend. If you are also transitioning yourself into a research science side of it, or a research scientist or research data scientist or applied scientist or something like that, then also Alpha Signal is something which is there. If you are into data science from beginner, intermediate, and advanced level, and whatever you name it, then it's towards data science. Um, there is also, like, if you are an UX researcher and you want to go into the data science side of like UX side of it, then I would highly recommend you. I think there is a qualitative software which is Deduce. So you can even, they have a community and you can subscribe to their newsletters to come to that, to get to know how you can do some of the qualitative studies and all. So I think these are few of the tech blogs and newsletters which I can think of. Apart from that, if you're building some sort of like product sense, and because you are into more of customer insights, consumer products, and or so forth, then I think there is something called the Exponent on YouTube, and they have a very good conversation which keeps on coming and going forward. So I think that is that will give you very much in depth about like how to think about each product, and also if you're trying to implement any feature or anything in the product, how you should go about it. So just building the product sense side of it, I think from these are all the free courses whichever I just mentioned. I think maybe for Medium you may have to become a member or something for the towards data science, because now they have made it compulsory. But apart from that, everything is free of cost. Even for deduce, for qualitative analysis and all, how it is done, the newsletters and everything is free of cost.
Great. Same. I have been following Exponent YouTube channel for like
Oh,
past 2
nice,
years, and yeah,
nice.
it has clearly improved my product knowledge and how to think systematically.
Oh, wow, that's great, wow. Yeah, yeah.
Great. So I have one rapid fire for you before we
Okay,
wrap this up and have our last closing section. Uh,
okay.
so we will begin this rapid fire, and you have to answer it quickly.
Okay.
Okay. Uh, so what would you choose, Python or R?
R. Yeah.
Uh, Statistics or machine learning?
Statistics. It
Research?
comprises of machine learning, that's why.
Yeah, it is a superset of machine learning.
Yeah, yes, yes, yes.
Research or industry?
Research, anytime research.
SQL or PySpark?
SQL.
Casual inference or predictive modeling?
Causal inference, because you can do experiments and then you can fail and then learn, then fail, then learn. Yeah. So yeah,
Yeah,
causal inference. Yeah.
causal inference. A/B testing or observational studies?
Can you choose both? It depends on the system. It depends. Sometimes the system cannot have A/B testing, so you are relied on observational studies. Yeah.
Yeah. Open source tools or enterprise tools?
Both, but yeah, open source more. Yeah, I'll go with open source. Yeah, it's easy. It's easy to integrate.
Okay. One favorite AI tool?
One favorite AI tool, you mean in the cloud code domain, like, or AI
Like
tool means?
like AI tool like that you use every day for your everyday purpose. It could be your
Oh, and
research or yeah, your personal life.
so can I use Python, or like Python or R, or like you want
Like
some?
AI tool like properly like GPT, Gemini, Claude,
Oh, okay,
Manus.
okay. Okay, those are the AI tools. Okay. Right now, though, I'm using a lot of like Claude Code, ChatGPT. I think 40% weightage in both of them, and 20% in GHC. Yeah.
One skill that you think every data scientist must master.
One skill, the analytical skills. You have to master that.
Given that current market situation, what do you think one AI prediction for the next 5 years? That AI will take like jobs, AI will create new jobs, or what like it is headed towards? And one prediction that you would like to make right now for the next 5 years.
Okay. In the next 5 years, definitely, I don't see AI is going to take your jobs. Of course, you're going to upskill because according to labor market economics, in only in two sections you will not have jobs. One is when your demographic window goes away, and the other is that when you have war zone or something like that happen. So in 5 years, I think you people will shift to the upskilling thing. The other thing which is going to come up very quickly in the 5 years is the already the boost is happening, but even the further boost will happening in what we say is that the second source of income, which is going to be you'll be your self-employed or have your own self businesses and all. So that is definitely going to happen when it comes to AI job market, and it will be reduced. So the very mundane task, I should not say it's a mundane, but yeah, like many of the repetitive tasks of the software developments, that will definitely go, but they will be replaced definitely by maintenance of these agents and these autonomous systems. And I think the upskilling will happen, and there will be shift in your job roles and all. But essentially, I don't see that there is going to be uh, you know that AI will take off all your job. Yes, it is going to take off your job if you're not upskilling yourself, but it's not going to happen. It's just going to be, according to me, a shift in the the whole job market in the white, not only the white collar, but yeah, essentially everything. Until unless we have robots in place, we are not going to go anywhere. And by the time, I think most of us are going to be again a self-employed in this shared economy. Yeah, that's my prediction, to be honest.
Do you
Yeah.
think like it will create an utopian world where the healthcare is free, the education is free, and everyone is running their own household with their like own businesses, and like kind of a socialistic concept, like everyone has money and everyone is equal? Would you think it would ever
Uh,
happen?
I think it cannot happen because the economy will collapse. Because let's say if everyone has a cow, and in the same business of the cow, and then you will not buy the milk. So then there is no exchange of the money. So the economy will finally collapse because you'll have a zero value of the pricing or prices or the money. So that cannot happen. But yes, what I see is that like people will be betting a lot on the robots in the future, that I want this robot, I want this service. So people will start having their businesses where they will be like, hey, we provide a service of through something through the robots, like maybe a robot is because people will be moving more towards loneliness. So I don't know if you know, there is a social chaos experiment done in 1970 on the rats, that how the after the explosion of the population, um, what happened to the rats. So the first your population will explode, then the rats will start feeling lonely, and then they will sequentially die or whatever like that. So the same setup, if you take into consideration of the social chaos where we are right now, I think in future most of the businesses will be something right like what is happening in Japan, where you accompany people because once again the demographic window is set up, done, and we probably will be having some robots to do the job of having a companionship for the elderly people or something like that. So I think there will be just shift in those kind of market or jobs, which I think, but it will take some time. In the 5 years, of course, this 5 years are crucial for us, because I think there will be a lot of changes, which is going to be especially in the service industries, and they will have a massive hit because these agents are coming into picture and all. When it comes to white collar job, when it comes to the blue collar job, you'll already be knowing that, people are paying the money for many of the textile industries and all, where, they have the heads up and like they're basically capturing all the data and they're just paying the money to the current blue collar workers to just collection of those data so that they can create the robots who can replace them and do the production of, maybe clothes or something like that. So I think those are the kind of things which is scary because in that case, yes, you will lose job and there will be a sudden then there will be a kind of like a depression that will happen in the job market, definitely. Because if you're the moment you realize that the blue collar job market is down, that means it has affected all the job markets, whether it's white collar or blue collar job, whatever you define, skilled, unskilled, or semi-skilled labors. If you see that the semi-skilled labors are being affected the maximum and they're thrown out of um, those things, maybe there will be a shift of managing of these robots or agents, but I don't know. So for me, it's a kind of like an uncertain thing, but I don't see in 5 years your job will only, as I mentioned, will only retain if you upskill yourself so that you can at least know how to maintain the agents or maintain this, robots or whatever you name it. So I think that will be the shift. So yeah.
Yeah, great.
And there will be one massive shift which will happen. I don't think so in future we'll have any more masters and PhD. It will something like Singapore, where you just do a diploma and then you are done because your maybe prices will rise. Yeah, Bhavi, you can go ahead. I stopped you, sorry. Yeah.
No worry. I have one like show recommendation or a series recommendation for you. Like it is Black Mirror. So it shows us the reality in future, like how AI can shape us and what different reality it could be like. So it just talks about like the Black Mirror, which is our black reality. Like it just talks about
Yeah.
some of the negative terms like that could actually happen in the near
Yeah.
future.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So one closing question that I have for you is
Sure.
right now, assume like there is a 20-year-old watching our podcast right now, and he wants to go into a data science field, and he is now uh, not like focusing on his career, and he doesn't know what he should do. So what would be his game plan for the next 3 to 5 years, so he can crack a good data science or AI engineer role at a good firm?
Oh, yeah, sure, Bhavi. I think when you are 20 years old, you would have already done your 11th and 12th, and you will be in your college or probably uh, almost done with your college or doing some internships at the college. So, if you are interested, so basically, I think it comes from the interest. I mean, if you are intrigued and interested into solving some real-time problems, like for example, oh my God, what is this Bangalore traffic? I want to gather data and solve this problem. So if something which is conflicting you and you want to solve that problem, I think data science is one way to solve that particular problem. And if you want to invest in the another 3 years in building this skill, which I think is a very good time. Right? I think 20 to 25, 26 years of age is the time when you learn a lot. And after that, other responsibilities kicks in and all. But I think that's the time where you'll be so focused that I think I mean, 3 years is more than enough for you to build your entire career and the like whatever the subject matter is there, like become a full expert in the data science in the terms of that. I would highly recommend whoever does data science um, is, like again, I will say that start with applied maths and applied stats. I will not. say that you should directly go to, apply some models and all. Yes, it will take time. Data science is about like taking time to becoming an expert in that and all. It, but I think that fundamentals is something which will help you transition very quickly. Um, no matter which field you are, you pick up any of the quants. You can even pick up like econometrics, applied econometrics and all, because it will deal with some of the maths behind it. I there's You can even pick up, biostats, which is very strong foundation when it comes to data science and statistics. Most of the statisticians around the world are from biostatistics background. And I mean, in India, we do not have the multidisciplinary method where, you can have an health informatics, or you can have an urban planning or something like that. But I think um, maybe probably in future we will have something like that. But I will highly recommend to the 20-year-old to first build the foundation. Take it slow, it's fine, but it's important to have that knowledge, so that given any of the, very ambiguous problems, or very, difficult or challenging problems, you since you are so strong in fundamentals, you can walk through it. And you'll just walk through it just like in a very simple manner. So I think if he's looking for, courses to do in data science or something, I will highly tell him to do basically in, choose a particular course. Once again, the same thing which I said earlier, which is a mix of, case studies, plus which has like courses which has, applied maths, applied stats, applied econometrics, anything in that regard, applied regression. um, or if you are very interested into, you found out that you're very interested into, for example, I mentioned the traffic, you're very interested into urban planning, take that as your case study, or, your main subject, and then, revolve your data science or the quants around it. So I think that's my only going to be uh, advice, I don't know, suggestion to him. Yeah.
Great. I think that's a lovely advice, and anyone transitioning into data science should definitely consider this systematic route plan and how they want to go. And first of all, it should come from inside. If they are really passionate about data science, then only they should pursue it, because the jobs are scarce right now, and they have to really grind it to get a job as a data scientist.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Pallavi, before we wrap up with our podcast, do you have any questions, suggestions for me where I can improve?
I No, I didn't have any suggestions to improve, Bhave. First of all, I want to actually thank you, Bhave, for doing this. I wish we had this kind of podcast when I was very young, to give me the guidance and so forth. So hope this podcast reach to a wider audience and people who are like interested into data science, and this is helpful to them. So I really want to thank you for hosting the podcast apart from your full-time job, and thank you for reaching out to me on LinkedIn. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Pallavi, for responding to me on the LinkedIn, because most of the people don't even respond. Uh, and yeah,
Yeah.
looking forward
Yeah.
to many of the podcasts that we will do in the future. Uh,
Yes, yes. All the
so we
best.
can
All the very best in the well.
Thank you. So we can do a multiple podcast. Like I have two or three suggestions of the topics that we can do next time. It would be a mock interview for the people who are trying to be in a data scientist. So you can act as a senior data scientist, mock interviewing me. So I can answer these questions and see like where are the loopholes where most of the data junior data scientists stuck and they are not able to get out of it, and how to navigate through that journey. And other we can dive deep into very particular topics of econometrics, statistics, and the machine learning, focusing on the very foundational basics for the data science.
Yeah, sure, Bhavin. We can. I'll be happy to do that if that is. I'm sure that is going to be helpful for the aspiring data science people who are looking for either switching their career to data science or try already in the data science but trying to switch into another job. I mean, company or organization. So yeah, yeah, happy to do.
Great. Thank you so much, Pallavi. Uh,
Yeah, of course, and my pleasure.
Thank you. See you soon and
Yeah,
have
see
a
you
great
soon.
day
Bye.
ahead.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You too. Yeah, have a great day. Bye bye.
Bye. Thank you.